Good evening, folks. It's Diamond with the Oppenheimer Ranch Project, bringing you a grand solar minimum update on Sunday, June 10th, 9:53 p.m. Mountain Time 2018. You're looking at the USGS live feed of Kilauea Caldera. All is quiet on the western front. We'll be back to this shortly. As you can see, sun has not set over Hawaii yet. Burro fire burning near the 416 fire in southwest Colorado grows to 493 acres. A wildfire that broke out not far from the 416 fire in southwest Colorado grew to 500 acres on Sunday morning. This adds insult to injury to the 416 fire, which doubled in size overnight. Colorado wildfire doubles in size, hundreds more evacuations underway as they dump fire mitigation chemicals onto the blaze. 10% containment has been maintained for 10 days. Colorado wildfire that nearly doubled is now over 17,000 acres as of Sunday morning, an area larger than Manhattan. The fire located north of Durango is 10% contained, the Rocky Mountain Incident Management Team said. The fire had burned 9,000 acres early on Saturday, according to an aerial survey, and then the next survey showed 16,000. A mandatory evacuation order was issued on Sunday for 675 residents, bringing the total number of homes under evacuation to 2,000. However, no homes have been damaged yet. So we're going to keep a close eye on this. It's totally burning in the middle of nowhere. Snow blankets parts of the Northwest days before the first days of summer. The photo above shows a view of snow blanketing Logan Pass in Montana today. Snow fell on parts of the Northwest this weekend. Check it out. The summit of Whitefish at only 6,800 feet got some fresh snow overnight. Here's what it looked like at 7:30 in the morning. Blacktail Mountain got a few inches. National Weather Service in Missoula, our friends at Dixie, Idaho, shared these pics of 2 inches of fresh snow they received at 5,900 feet. A cold upper-level system that originated from the Gulf of Alaska due to the grand solar minimum dropped into the Northwest this weekend, said weather.com meteorologist Chris Dulce. This weather system has sent temperatures plunging well below average across the region. In the higher elevations, there has been enough moisture available for snow. Al! Come over to the GFS model, and you can see it piling up. Over 10 centimeters showing up here on the Alberta-British Columbia line. And we'll get to that. It's being reported in the media. Potential for heavy rainfall and flooding in the mid-Atlantic. Critical fire weather conditions likely over the Southwest. We have red flag warnings over the entire Four Corners region. Driving the 416 and the Burro fire on that state line, and it will be moving to the east. A slow-moving low-pressure system will bring a renewed threat for locally heavy rainfall over portions of the mid-Atlantic into Monday. Soil remains very moist across this region. Heads up. Additional rainfall may cause flooding of the rivers, streams, and low-lying areas. Very dry and windy conditions will lead to another day of critical fire weather over the Southwest. And I'm headed into the fire tomorrow morning. We're going to get live coverage at the fire. Snow in the mountains, highway weather statements in effect. Silver Star Mountain in Washington State, this is in the U.S., kids, received 22 centimeters of snow. Alerts in effect for Coquihalla Highway 3 connector. Or perhaps it's simply never left Silver Star Mountain Resort, which received a fresh blanket of snow on June 10th. Wesla Wong, meteorologist and Silver Star spokesperson, measured 22 centimeters of snow at the resort on Sunday morning, which is today. Jasper National Park could get 10 centimeters of snow. We showed you the GFS model. Environment Canada agrees with us and issued a snowfall warning for the park on Sunday. About 10 centimeters of snow is expected in parts of Jasper National Park today, including the Icefields Parkway. Yes, it's true. It's almost summer, and it's almost a blizzard. Severe thunderstorm warnings bring lightning, thunder, and hail. Heads up, Battlefords. This is you in Saskatoon. Residents of the area have been subjected to a wide variety of weather over the past 24 hours as severe thunderstorms warnings brought thunder, lightning, and hailstones the size of loonies. I can't make this up. Look at the loonies. And that's tonight's first boom. Give it to me. There we go. Guys, have you been following the news in Scotland? After the blazing sun, thunder, lightning, hail, and floods yesterday, twisters may be seen in Scotland today. This certainly is a blazing home. And a guy packing up his hatchback. Heads up. A family were forced to flee their home while lightning bolts set it ablaze as a freakish weather swept across Scotland yesterday. They were watching television. Maybe they should have thrown that out the window. And then they would have been aware that lightning had struck their home in the East Devonshire during the thunderstorm. Can you say sheep? Get out of Dodge. Meh. Freak weather storm hits the UK. Snow, twisters, and lightning, fireballs wreak havoc. He's so concerned. He's pointing. Look at this map. I wish I was... Wow, that is totally trippy. How do they even keep track of what's going on there? Crazy. Apparently it's going to be gorgeous, though, at the BBC. Yes, it's true. Britain has been hit by a freak weather storm this weekend, with parts of the country experiencing snowstorms, lightning balls, flash flooding in the space of just a few hours. This is Kilauea, however. A freak weather storm hit Britain yesterday, disrupting the summer heat wave that has swept across the country over the last week. Scotland bared the brunt of the bizarre weather pattern, with the region stunned with snowstorms, huge hail, and lightning explosions. In one of the worst weather-related incidents yesterday, a family's house in Lindsay suffered an unusual lightning fireball which lit it ablaze while they were watching TV and they were unaware. Bah. Man, you can't make this up. We had a 5.3 explosion at the Kilauea caldera today, which is suggesting not a downtick, but a moderation. We are staying quiet. We went from 5.2 to 5.3 over a 24-hour period. We are going to watch and see what this happens. Based on the periodicity, at any moment we'll have another explosion, and at that point we will be at a critical juncture. We will know if it's increasing or decreasing at this point. If it pops off at 5.3, anything goes, kids. We have a large uptick in the Aleutian Ring, and we have a similar ring ringing across the country, including an uptick at 5.7 in Decatur, Tennessee, and here in Hayes, North Carolina, a rare 2.6, which we have to consider the Atlantic, the Appalachian Fault may be waking up. Now, I was not aware of any of these earthquakes, so I'll go to one-day all magnitude, and we'll take a quick look. Okay, all we have is one other quake up here in Canada and a square showing up offshore here. I wonder what that's all about. 100 kilometers west of Trinidad, there was an M question mark in a large square range. Someone is obfuscating the truth and hiding you information, guys. There can be nothing but the facts. So the largest quake of note in the last 24 hours is a 5.1 offshore of Chiyoshima in Japan. No other quakes of note. 5.0 at southeast of Raoul Island in New Zealand at 139 kilometers means there could be another larger quake up at the surface in the next 24 hours here. And we do have a moderate uptick here on the Appalachian Fault in the New Madrid zone, so we'll be keeping a watch on that. There is many more volcanic uptick to discuss. Elevated earthquake activity, possible steam explosion at the Great Sitkin volcano in Alaska. We just showed you the seismic uptick on the Aleutian chain, and this is what it's all about. Seismicity at Alaska's Great Sitkin volcano has been elevated levels over the past couple of days, followed by a signal that may represent a short-lived steam explosion on June 11th. The last known eruption of the stratovolcano took place in 1974, and it is capable of VI 3 to 5 explosions. You can already see it is missing its top. And I'm not trying to scare you, but the media is, and we're going to get to that in a second. After we cover the worldwide volcano news update, Sabancaya, unknown, observed volcanic ash today. Reventador, volcanic ash, intermittent. We also have Popocatépetl, Dukono, Sakurajima, and Ibiko. We had a Biko eruption today, reported with volcanic ash. Popo had a volcanic ash advisory, emissions at 10:22. And there's the associated picture. Sakurajima, for the 35th day in a row, erupted. And we are waiting for a major explosive event, maybe from this volcano, happening at any time. Here we are back at the live stream at Kilauea. All is calm on the Western Front, except for the obvious Lays, Vog, Haze cloud which is laying over that island. And guys, if you don't know, I was unable to upload it tonight to show you because we didn't have enough slots available. That this volcanic fissure, the East Rift Zone, which is now flowing huge rivers of lava into the ocean at the southern margin of the Big Island, is creating weather on the Big Island. And there have been winter weather advisories over the weekend and snow up on Mauna Loa, as well as freezing rain associated with this volcanic event. So we're watching the weather patterns as a small nuclear winter descends on the Big Island because of the Kilauea eruption and its longevity. So I'll be reporting on that tomorrow in greater detail. Come over here to the USGS and give them a thumbs up, even though they're the downgrade service of America, because they are the only ones supplying us with this live stream of the main rim. And that's a boom, a gorgeous boom, where you can sit and look forever and wait for your death, but it will never happen because you're simply a fearmonger. This is a mild shield volcano. Even if it explodes at its massive quantity, very few people will be affected. What is affected is the quality of life of people that live on the flanks of a volcano while it is active. And that is just a heads up. Guatemala volcano latest. Fuego unleashes flow of burning sediment, prompting evacuations. A new hot sediment flow has been released from Guatemala's Fuego today, prompting authorities to evacuate more residents. This is during the recovery effort. It is completely insane. A week after a major eruption killed over 300 people, they're still saying 110 plus 200 missing. Added up, Guatemala's Seismology and Volcanology Institute said that a new lahar today, a flow of mud and debris, water and pyroclastic materials, totally fluxed the area. Now, these guys are digging for two of their firefighters that they lost. Now, if you watch this video, which you're going to get links to below, you're going to see what this guy just says. He said that people were sitting in this river valley, taking pictures and uploading them to YouTube. Those are the very people we showed the video to you last week. They are all buried. They're dead. This flow came quickly, including firefighters that were on the scene also taking selfies. They're all buried, and these people are trying to recover their two fellow firefighters. The rest of the citizens are underneath. This is the actual river valley where they were taking the pictures. And it got covered in a quick lahar and a pyroclastic flow that was very hot and instantaneous. And we watched it. Not all of those people made it out, but the videos did get uploaded because they were shooting live. They shot their deaths live. This is an explosion today, which prompted them to quickly get out of that region. So Fuego is not done its wrath, but luckily the people of Guatemala have donated thousands of tons of products and are now helping these people. They have way more than they need, which is a good thing, because the people in Guatemala generally do not have way more than they need. We're almost done with the update. Now, thousands of Guatemalans protesting over President Morales' demand for his resignation over Fuego volcano crisis. It's not getting any better. The public citizenry are actually the ones who have done the best job at helping the people that are affected, and the government hasn't. So this is a sign of the times to come. Global unrest related to catastrophic events that are going to be happening worldwide. And guys, if you don't know, the socialist model really doesn't work. The government is not going to be able to help the masses. They can barely handle a single hurricane. How are they going to handle multiple layered catastrophes? They're not. They're going to hide in their structures. They're going to run for the hills. And you're going to be left to pick up the pieces. If you're in a populated area, you're going to be surrounded by millions of idiots that are going crazy. So choose your battles. The time is now to start preparing to survive and thrive in the changing times. This type of event has happened time immemorial. We know about the Empire model fail. It has historically been documented, and we are documenting it now for the public. In Guatemala, a woman searches for 50 relatives buried in the volcano. This is how they do not have the staff to even fix the problem or recover the dead. And this is just a tiny, devastating eruption, a tiny one. This is a minor perturbation. We're going to have hundreds more volcanoes like this exploding where there are communities below that are going to be buried. And the powers that be don't have the resources to help you. Now, this woman is looking for 50 of her relatives that got buried that day when Fuego went off. And they're under feet of ashes. 50 of them. And that's just the sad facts of what we have to deal with as time moves forward. Now, this is fear-mongering. This is coming out from Newsweek. Yellowstone geyser erupts for the 8th time in 3 months, stumping scientists. If you read the article, not one single scientist is stumped. This is a headline of fear-mongering nonsense. If you don't know, Yellowstone is a hydrothermally active area. Millions of people flock there to see the hydrothermal vents outgas daily. The fact that a new geyser is erupting more periodically than before is not new news. It is absolutely expected in the Yellowstone area. And if you read the article, there's not one single scientist that is stumped. Here we go to Forbes. Concern grows after Yellowstone's large geyser erupts for the 8th time since March. There is no concern. Read the article. Not a single scientist is concerned. Read it. It doesn't say that anyone's concerned. In fact, it says that tourists are flocking to camp around Steamboat Geyser to get a glimpse of it erupting and some steam on their tent. The tourists aren't concerned. No one is concerned. Forbes is concerned about no one reading their rag. So they put this headline there. Because Forbes is a rag, and so is Newsweek. They're totally full of nonsense. They have no grasp on reality, and they need to get views because everyone realizes that they're complete garbage and not worth a single penny. Hey, Forbes, go yourself. You too, Newsweek. Zero Hedge actually has some facts. Hawaii and Guatemala are the opening act for the volcanic swarm cycle is back. Here are volcanoes and earthquakes, an interview with Eric Haddock. First introduced to the financial markets in '79, Haddock is a trader and analyst who has been intimately involved with commodities and investing for over 35 years. His work gained wide recognition in the outset where we thought was late 80s. Eric worked closely with and provided market analysis on major institutions such as BP, Arco, and other people that make billions of dollars. Now, Tavares answers some interesting questions about how solar science is related to major deadly earthquake cycles and the markets. You can see here during the centennial minimum, hundreds of thousands of people died. And we've had a minor solar perturbation here in the 70s where there were more deaths. But we're going into a major death cycle here where in the large scale of things, we are on a major drop down into the eddy minimum, which is similar to the end of the Roman Empire, the Minoan Empire, and the Vikings. So we're on a major empire ending boundary where you can see cosmic ray flux is going to be increasing for the next 100 plus years, making this insane weather only rapidly getting worse and worse and worse. And if you come over here, you can see a 0.67 degree drop since February 2016. That's just 2 years and a few months. That's the same amount of temperature drop globally that sent us into the Maunder minimum, which ended up in global unrest, famine, and death of almost one half of the population in some areas. We're already there, and no one's talking about it. Now, thankfully, on the average, we're only down 3.5 degrees C on average. But once we drop below this black line, kids, all bets are off, and that could happen in the next few months. As soon as we go below the 50-year average, all of the growing practices on Earth are going to be deceived, and there will be no more food for you to ingest because we'll be losing everything. And we're already calculating crop losses to be catastrophic this year. And now we're talking about more global unrest. We just see what's happening in Guatemala with the people protesting the government there. Guys, did you watch our interview with Tim Ball we just put up today? If you haven't, you're missing out on the facts. Now, this guy and myself, we both come from the very beginning of the climatology movement. We're both historical climatologists because we were right at the cusp of the global warming nonsense. And we both got silenced because the funding was in lying. But thankfully, scientists like Tim Ball and myself have come forward to put our reputation on the line to tell you the truth. Now, this guy has spent over $600,000 defending himself in the courts because the IPCC is suing him. And thankfully, he's winning. The truth always prevails. And guys, you gotta listen to the first part of this interview. Tim's gonna be back on with us. Get his book, Human Caused Global Warming, the Biggest Deception in History, as well as corruption, the corruption of climate science, another one of his books. Just an awesome interview. The guy is amazing. I had such a blast. He's going to be back in a few weeks. Guys, I hope you got something out of the video. Times are changing. I made this graph for you today to really drive home the running average of what's happening. Temperature drop like this has not happened for decades. Back here since 1998. That was El Nino driven, this one as well. We have a severe La Nina happening. This is coinciding with the descent into the grand solar minimum, the magnetic reversal, increased cosmic ray flux, fuego ejecting huge amounts of SO2 into the stratosphere, which is going to slowly cause cooling over the next several years. Do not look for the global temperature to recover anytime soon. It's only going to continue to mount. Every single second wasted learning how to grow food and being self-sufficient is another instant of nightmare that you may be adding onto your life. If you want to survive and thrive in the future, now is the time to start preparing. Continue to watch our channel. Share this with others. We need to build a group. We need to build a community of resilient people that are well aware of what's happening. Be safe, everybody.